Hello, in this video I will show you how to properly manage Python version using pyenv and create isolated virtual environment with venv, starting from scratch on Linux Docker container. Key point, you do not need to install Python manually, pyenv install and manage Python for you. Mainly what problem we are solving and why it's needed. First, we can manage and install different Python version from prompt itself based on project requirement. Second, we can avoid conflict package version between multiple projects, directories or environments. So how we solve this problem? We mainly solve this using pyenv and venv. Also, virtual env, which is the older version which was used for Python 2 and older version of Python. Now, what is pyenv? Pyenv is an open source Python version manager. It's allow you to install multiple Python version, switch Python version per project, match the production Python version exactly. Here, important clarification: pyenv does not isolate package. Okay. And now, what is venv? venv is a built-in Python module used for project level dependency isolation. It creates isolated environment based on current version of Python. So each product can have its own libraries or a directory. Important clarification: venv does not manage Python version. It just isolated packages, and use them together can give us a full control over Python environment setup and management. For more detail, please follow these links. These are useful. Now, there are some system prerequisites. You need to install these tools and library to successfully install pyenv in your system. In my case, I'm using Docker container. So for that, I'm using this configuration of this Docker file. You can follow and you can see I have already installed this curl and git and bash. Okay. Now I'm building an image from this Docker file. My image is completed. Now I'm going to create a Docker container from that image. Now I see my Docker container is created and I logged in. So default is my root user. No default files. Let's see whether pyenv is installed or not. So we make sure the pyenv is not installed, and we also check Python version. Usually it's come with the default, which is latest one only, 3.12.12. So image usually come with the Alpine image usually come with the default Python version. Okay. Okay, that's all. As we have already verified, pyenv is not installed. Now we install the pyenv. So this is the open source project basically, and we'll follow its document. So folder has been created. Now create a .bashrc file to copy these, export these variables. So we have reinitialized the shell and logged into bash again, and now we'll see command is installed or not. So we have verified the pyenv is installed successfully. There are some commands which we have to use along the way. We have verified my pyenv is installed, and I have not installed any Python version. Okay, I have just used pyenv installation. Okay, that's the primary requirement, and without installing this, nothing. The environment setup is incomplete. Okay, so you must have to install this now. So our installation is done, and we have changed the shell also. Okay, so my path have been added with that command. Okay, now we'll see some pyenv commands. Okay, what we can do. Pyenv versions. Okay, this will tell what are the Python versions are installed in this system. So presently we have not installed any Python, and this is the default system. Okay, we'll install and all will list here, and this will tell which is your current Python version. Okay, just if you see here, as it will list all the installed Python version, and it will show only the which one which you are currently using. Okay, presently we are using the system default, so it's showing this one only. Okay, and we'll see first what are the Python version are available. This is the list command, and it will list all the available Python versions which we have. We have these many Python version, and you can install anyone. So we'll grep 3910, let's say, is it there or not? We see it's there, so we'll install this version itself. Now we have installed these remaining version as well. So we first install 3910, then install these version as well, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we will rerun the command again to check how many versions are installed. Earlier we execute this command, right? So only it showed this default version. Now we can see the recently installed all the available version. And if you notice, all the version has been installed in the default location called this .pyenv, and all the versions are installed in this location. Okay, so we'll check the remaining commands and we will run the command again for version. Presently we have the default version set Python. Okay, now we will check the other commands too. It showed you which one is the root command for pyenv. Okay, sorry, root path. Okay, so it showed this location which we explained earlier, right? So if you see here, it will show you what's the current path of the Python. So by default, it's taking system installed Python. So it's showing you this path. Okay. Now let's say we want to set a global. The other command too. If you want to set up a global or local, we can use the other command as well. Okay. Before we jump to that, we can uninstall the version also. Okay. So let's say we want to uninstall any specific version. Let's say I want to uninstall this 3810. Okay. It will ask you, say yes, and is it? It's uninstalled, and you see. Sorry. So if you see here, earlier it shows 8, 10, and now that has been removed. So it's showing you only the currently installed version. Okay. Now we will set global. Okay, there is another key thing to notice. If you see here, right, this file is basically global. So whatever the current version is set for, globally, it will store all the version name in it. So this file is presently not available. When you set the version globally, it will set the path. It will list the path. Let's say I want to set 11 as a global, 3.9.11. So presently Python set by. So you see here now the default version is set this. Okay, now we'll check this file again. Earlier that file was not available, and now you see what is the content inside this file. So you notice that the current version is is set here. If you set a different version, then the file get update. Let's say you set 12, so the file will get update. You see file updated, and the current version will be 12. Okay, so this is how this default, and this is how you set the version. Okay, this is just we are checking the commands, right? And now, okay, now we will run the command, this one. Yeah. So see, earlier it was showing you the default one. Now it's showing you the exact path. What is the current version of the Python? Okay, now presently it's earlier it was showing this default one, 12, 12, 3, 12. Now we have set, it's showing this one. So we have we're changing the version, right? Version, like we have like switching version, like anything. Okay, so this is very useful when you switch the version. And okay, so this is for globally. Okay, to set the version globally. And let's say, okay, now this one, let's say you have created one directory. Let's say you create one project directory. Now we will jump to the another section. Okay, this in this section, and where we will list all the remaining steps, and how we can use project specific version, and how we can isolate virtual environment specific to Python version. Okay, so we'll see all the real time kind of example, and how we work in actual environment. We'll follow these steps. Let me explain you the another command as well. Let's say you're working on a small project. Okay, let's say local one directory tt. Okay, and that is one project directory. Okay, and you get into this project. And here we have currently installed these other version, and for let's say for this TT project we want to use 3.9.10 version. Okay, so we will set pyenv local and 3.9.10. Okay, now what it will do, it will create one hidden file called Python version. Okay, here what it stored dot Python, it will store the current version. So presently which version we are using? Python. Presently it's 3.9.10. Okay, in this directory, and what we have set default is 3.9.12. Okay, if I come back to the main directory and if I rerun the command, see, now we have this 12 version which is set globally. Okay, and as soon as you get into this one, it will automatically change the Python version. Okay, you no need to do it manually. So this is the one major benefit. Okay, we have not created yet any virtual environment. Next we're going to create a virtual environment, and how we can use them together, we'll explain in that. We will remove this directory. Okay, now we will create a virtual environment along with this pyenv. So currently we have these many versions installed, and now we're going to create a project directory. Let's say you're working on project 3.9.10. Okay, no problem. Okay, once you get into this project and there's nothing. Okay, now let's say we want to use any default version for this one, so we're going to set default version locally for this project only, like we said earlier. Okay, now what it do, it's created a folder, sorry, it created a file and which contain the version name. Okay, so whenever we get into this directory, it automatically change the Python version. Okay, now let's create a virtual environment for it. Python -m venv dot venv. We can give any other name as well, but we follow the standard to create dot venv folder. Okay, and it uses the same Python to create this virtual environment, and it uses the same 3910. Okay, and now you will see this folder has been created. Okay, and all the things will be installed in it. Now we're going to activate this environment. Okay, so how we do it, we source the file dot venv bin activate. So if you see here, this environment has been activated. Okay, our environment has been activated and there's no such file except default. Okay, and now we're going to install any package. Okay, we will install the package pip and then later we use uv. Okay, so it has been installed under my project directory root and my project directory name, then virtual environment, and then library, and this is the package. Okay, so you see here, right, it has been installed under this. Okay, let's say we want to install a different number version in different folder. Okay, so we have these many version, and for this folder we have set up this version. Okay, let's come out from this folder. See, it shows a different version here once you switch back, and here also it will show you a different version. Okay, this is how it switches the Python version. Now create a folder called 3910 we have created. Okay, now we can use, let's say, 13. Okay, okay, got it. So here the issue is we have to again reactivate, we have to deactivate and then activate this one. Okay, earlier my virtual environment was activated. Okay, so I have deactivated my virtual environment and now I'll reactivate for this one. So let's say source dot, first I need to create this one. Okay, now we'll see what version is showing. Yeah, it's showing now. So after deactivating, it will show you the correct version based on your project folder. Okay, now here again we will install yeah, here we have to install a different numpy version. Okay, we have installed a default one, and here we're going to install a different numpy version. Let's say 1.22.04. So again, let's say I just want to say v13. Let's say, okay, so we're going to create my virtual environment with this name. So to keep the name a little different, so start v. Okay, so you see this environment has been activated, and we'll see whether the Python numpy is installed or not. We can do this pip list. Okay, let's in the current directory. It doesn't show anything because we have not installed anything yet. And let's say from the root itself, this directory should not be listed here. Okay, so you can see the project directory only 10 is listing here. So after installing, another directory path will also list here, and also we can check with the pip list. So this version is installed. Let's run the find command again here. First here it will in the current one, and we recently installed this 200. Okay, so you see here 20 is available, and now we will run the same command in the root. Okay, so now you will notice this is my current working directory. Okay, and you see here we recently installed 200 version in this folder. Okay, and earlier we installed 20.2, the latest one, in different folder. Okay, 10. So you can see this is quite isolated environments, right? So we are maintaining a two different version of Python in different folder, and it get automatically switched based on the version. Okay, so let's say if I now presently it's a 13, right? And let's say I'm jumping to the another folder. Okay, and that is 10, right? Now here I think I need to activate that, but let me try. Yeah, so once we activate this environment, it will show you that version source Okay, now that version is activated. Okay, now you see 3, 9, 10. Now go back to again. We'll go to 13 and see, this is how we're changing a Python version, like on fingertips. So this is the benefit. And now we will install another NumPy version. Okay, we have installed these many version. Overall, we have these many version. Okay, here. Okay, let me list it from this list. Okay, you can see here, and let me do the same thing for that as well. It will not run because I need to activate the environment. Okay, anyway. So you see here, this is the latest one. Okay, and they've installed 2.0. Okay, and the 2.2. Okay, now we going to install. Let's say I want to install 2.0 in this folder as well. Okay, so I want to install two Python NumPy version. Okay, let's install this as well here, and we will install 2.2 is already available, and we'll install again here. It's downloading. It's already available in cache, right? So it's taking from cache and installing it here. Okay, and now we'll see. Okay, so basically, it has not added a new one. It's just downgraded to the lower environment. You see, earlier in this environment, the package was this, and after installing, after downgrading 2.2, it is updated with the same. Okay, so we cannot maintain two versions in the same. Okay, and see, let's see how the path is looking like. So if you see here, yeah, so it's completely replaced basically. Okay, the older version is gone completely. The new version is completely gone. It's downgraded basically. Let me upgrade this again. Okay, and we're going to upgrade with 1. See, so it has been updated from the point to 1. Now we will say the list how many version are there. See, so the different version, we have different folders. Okay, this is how we completely isolating our virtual environment based on different projects, or we called packages or anything. So this is how we usually maintain. Okay, we will install different some other packages with the UV. Okay, so what is UV? We install first is, so UV is fast modern Python package manager written in Rust. It's a drop-in replacement for pip, and it's very fast. Okay, and it exactly do the same like do pip. Okay, almost same. So we goes into this project, let's say 10, and I'm activating my environment source. Okay, before we do activate, first we need to install this UV, right? Because we don't have UV. We don't have UV, right? UV, no UV, right? So we have to install the UV first, and for that we need to go its UV command page, I believe. So UV, yeah, this is how. Okay, we can install this from here. We have no UV command, and we need to run this to source the file, and this is how we run. And now we run UV. See, this is how we install the command, and UV is installed, and we check the UV version. It's 912 or 912. Now we install the panda in the existing directory. Okay, we don't need to create a separate virtual environment for this. You already have that. Project, let's say 10, and in this one we're going to install UV package. NumPy 2.0 is already installed, and let me activate the virtual environment as well. Source.pyenv venv activate. And now this is how it will list, and this is also a list. Okay, almost similar. And now we will install panda. Okay, so we'll install panda like UV pandas. See, this is how fast it will install the panda. It is installed. So the panda is installed here, and this is how it will install. And pip list, it won't show, it will show. And UV pip list, it will show. Okay, so it's showing 333, yeah, almost same. So this is how we install, and now we go back to another directory, and there we select source. We activate this environment here, and now we install the same, but with pip. So this is a little different compared to UV. Okay, so UV shows and install the package in this way, and here we shows install the package in a little older way. Okay, Oh, I think it was already there. It has installed. Okay, but I wasn't different. Okay. Anyway, this is how it installed, and list it shows these versions. And earlier, so you can notice with the numpy 2.1, and here numpy 2.0. Okay, and what we're going to check uv. Oh, sorry, uv. Okay, yeah, almost same output. Now we will freeze this output. Okay, we will freeze this output and install in a different, let's say, folder. Okay, or a different project. Okay, so first we will freeze. It will show something like that, and then uv freeze. It will also shows you something like that, and but it will give you some more details. Okay, so both ways work fine, and we'll do different ways. So first we will do with the pip freeze and requirement.txt file. So let's say pip freeze, and we redirect into, okay, so it will list all the environment in this folder. Cat, you see. Okay, now we will jump. Okay, and let's say I'll do this uv freeze also. Okay, uv pip, both almost look same. Okay, what do you call, and this is how. Okay, so there's not much difference. It uses almost same 6 VTY. Yeah, there is a one different, and in UV we have this setup tool also, but here we it not listing, right? So one package is missing here. Anyway, so let's create another folder. We'll set up a environment and deactivate. Okay, and on which version we'll do? Let's say 12. Okay, this is the default one which we have set 12, and let's say we'll go with the 12. We have 10. Okay, let's go with 11 then. Okay, and then now project and 11 local 3.9.11 Python version 3.9.11. Okay, now by the way, we can create the environment using UV also. Let me create with that as well. Okay, so my directory, let me remove this directory. Okay, sorry, I used the wrong command. We're in the directory, and we'll set up a local environment for this. Now check the Python version, and we'll create a virtual environment. The Python version file is created. Now we're going to create a virtual environment. UV, UV. Okay, see, this is how the Python environment is created here with this. Okay, and the default version is 3.9. And how you activate? With this way you can activate. Python environment is activated. Okay, now we will copy those cp project. I think we install here. Yes, so we install pip first. Okay, since we're doing UV, then we will try UV first. I'm sorry. Dot. Okay, so we have this requirement file here, and now we're going to install all the packages in this one. Let me see the package first. UV, no package is there, right? And so pip default, and UV shows nothing. Okay, now we're going to run this command UV pip our requirement, and this is enter. And this is how we install the packages. Super. So we have installed the packages, and we'll list UV. Super. So all the packages are installed and listing here, and we'll check with pip as well. And it's just showing the old one because it's we're using a pip sorry UV now. Okay, and let me do the other. Let's try to install the same set of version. Okay, anyway, deactivate. Okay, make directory, and now let's do another version as well. Let's do for 12 as well. Okay, we'll install here with the pip. Here it goes into this, and here we create Python. It will show you the default one. 3 and 12, the default one. Okay, and we're going to set the same. Okay, and it's the same, and local 3.9.12 Python as am, and don't we right. We'll create the file. Okay, and we activate. Activate 13. how it installed in an older way, and it will install all the packages. Okay, so this is how we create the virtual environment, and it will list these many packages, uv, pip, list, and it is listing here as well. Okay, so this is how we install, and on our final note, we create some dummy structure for any project, let's say. Okay, and tree. So this is how usually we create the files. Okay, so on a final note, before we close this session, so let's quickly summarize what we have installed and what we have done today. Okay, so we use pyenv to control and standardize the Python version. We use venv to isolate project dependencies. Okay, we have used uv to install packages. We have used pip to install packages. The difference between these two is because the one is older and uv is new. Pip is older, uv is new, and uv is quite faster, and in a future it's going to, I mean, is used more compared to pip. Okay, so and for professionally production ready project, we always use them together, okay, to use the full functionality. And this setup eliminates version conflict, dependencies issues, and most work on my machine problems. Okay, you can configure your machine or other machines based on your complete requirement. So it's a kind of easy tips you can do. And at the last, one line mental model and rule for best practice is pyenv decide which Python, okay, and venv decide which package. And first we have to install pyenv, and let pyenv install Python, and then use virtual environment for packages. Okay, and that's all, I think so. Let me, okay, so this is my one short lines. Okay, on a closing note, if you master this setup, you will never struggle with the Python version or dependency issues again. Comment for any doubt to clarify. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching this video.